Hello and welcome to another Carpi Life Tackle video. So again, I'm bankside today, so excuse the poor video quality. I'm not set up on my tripod or anything like that. But I've been reading a lot of things on some of the carp forums recently about baits, and one of the questions that comes up is, what's the best bait? What's the best boilie manufacturer? What is the best? And it's a question that kind of I wouldn't say irritates me, but irks me a little bit, because there is no answer to that question, because all there is people's personal preferences. Now, for anybody that's been on my website, you know that I stock CR baits, and CR baits have been absolutely fantastic to me, and I've been using their baits myself all year, and I've had some very good results on it, and I love the bait. The bait is very good quality, and I like the flavors. They use very good ingredients, and as I say, the bait is very good. I've done reviews on the bait. You can see some of my other reviews. But my local club, and for those of you that don't know, I'm in Northern Ireland, and my local club is a very is one of the biggest society of carp fishermen in Northern Ireland, and it's called NICAS, which is the Northern Irish Carp Angling Society. Now they sell the range of baits that's in front of me now, which is NutraBaits. And although I do not sell NutraBaits myself, when my club sells it, the profits that are made from selling the bait go back into putting fish in the lakes, and keeping the lakes up to. So even though I don't stock it and don't sell it myself, I like to just invest a little bit of my own money back into the carp society. So I just spent £20 of my own money and got a selection of the NutraBaits, and I thought, well, I may as well just do a quick review on it. And as most of you know, my reviews are my own personal opinion. I don't they are my genuine opinion. I don't pander for things that I sell. I don't make things that I sell look better than things that I don't sell. So I thought I'd do a quick independent review on the NutraBaits, and then I just want to make once I've done that, I want to make a point on baits and that in general. So the packaging is nice enough. The branding looks good. It looks professional. NutraBaits is a fairly big, one of the bigger bait companies. So it's not a small company. So you'd expect all the packaging and things like that to look professional, and it does. So I got a selection of bits and pieces. I got some shelf life boilies, some different shelf life boilies, a bit of their sort of syrup or liquid booster as they call it, and then some Popups. And by all means, this is only a tiny selection of their range, they do a lot of other stuff. I mean, check out their website if you're interested in NutraBaits. I won't be promoting it too much, because obviously I do sell CR baits myself and that, but I thought I'd give you an honest opinion on it. Now, I have these chili crab, which I haven't opened, and I'm not going to open because I'm actually going to save them for another session, for when the water gets a bit warmer, because they are very fishy, and I think the water over here is still a bit cold for those sorts of things. Now, that being said, I also went for this other one called BFM, which is a krill and cranberry. Again, it's fishy, but it's actually more, it smells, let me take some out. The lake I'm fishing, red baits do very well on here, and these are, as you can see, very red, and there is a hint of krill in there, but the overwhelming sort of scent for me is the cranberry. So I thought I'd give these a go. I believe BFM stands for Big Fish Mix, or Big Fish Magnet, or something along those lines. So it's supposed to be a big fish bait. Now, the first thing I notice with the bait, and again, these are just my observations, they're not negative, they're not positive, they're just observations. The first thing I notice with this bait is it is quite hard, compared to the CR baits, definitely. Now, it's not like a bullet or anything, it is still soft, but if I was putting this much pressure on a CR bait, it would have crumbled and that by now. Now, some people will think that's brilliant. Other people prefer softer baits. I don't mind either way, to be honest. As long as the bait doesn't sit as a solid bait on the bottom of a lake for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it does sort of dissolve, then I don't mind whether they're hard or soft. You know, the only thing I like, I like the softness of the CR baits, because I can literally crumble them up in my finger, and I don't have to get a boilie crusher out or anything like that, which I can do with these. But if I was to do, you know, 10 or 15 of these, I think my finger would start hurting after a while. But that's to say they're not you know, they're not unfishably hard. They're not, you know, it's not a bad hardness. It's absolutely fine. And as I say, some people will think that's brilliant, other people might not. The smell, they do give off a lot of scent, I will say that, and they smell fairly pleasant. The cranberry's quite nice, to be honest. And overall, if I'm honest, it feels and looks like a very good quality boilie. Now, I was fishing with these last night. Unfortunately, I didn't get a run or a fish on them, but the bailiff who's fishing on the swim opposite me, he had 3 or 4 fish on this bait, so he's also trialing them as well, and he had 3 or 4 on there. So apparently it does work, just not where I have it at the moment. So the second thing I got was the chili crab liquid booster. Now, I got this mainly because if I fish the chili crab, it will go with that, but I thought, well, do you know what, the BFM is krill and cranberry, so just a tiny bit of this. I mean, this stuff, I had a little drop running down the side of the bottle, and my entire bivvy now stinks of crab. So it is very, very fishy, very pungent. It's quite it's not very viscous. It's quite thin in consistency, not like the CR bait syrup is a bit thicker, but again, it soaks into the you know, it will soak into pellet very well. And you know, I don't tend to fish like that. I like to put everything in the boat, and then I just drizzle a bit of syrup on the top, and that's how I like to fish. So this stuff, you have to use it very sparingly, because there is a lot of flavour, a lot of scent coming off it, and I don't want to completely overpower the krill and cranberry, so I'm literally just putting a dash on. And basically, these liquid boosters and things like that, in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion, I think they're good if there's fish in the area when you put your bait out. With these liquid boosters, I think if there's a fish in the area, you might get a quick take because of the booster, because the fish will smell that and come in and investigate. I think once it's been in the water for, you know, 15-20 minutes, I'm not entirely sure what extra effect it has, and I'm sure there'll be people out there saying, oh, it does this, it does that, it does this, and I'm not saying they're wrong. That's just my own opinion. So but I always use a little bit of them, because I just feel that if there are fish in the vicinity, you could end up getting a quick bite because of the liquid booster. So the last item I have are these hook bait pop-ups. They're a staple of every angler. We've probably all got hundreds of pots in our bag, you know, more than we ever need. But I decided to get and again, along with red baits, pink baits work very well in this particular lake. So I didn't want to go for the match the hatch version, so I went for these pink sort of pink pepper. These are, and to be honest, they smell lovely. They do smell just like pepper, and they're pink, and we'll have a little feel of one. again, they feel very similar in consistency and hardness to the Shelf Life boilies there. I haven't had one in the water yet because the bailiff gave me a couple of white BFM pop-ups which I've been fishing, which I have on at the moment, but I do intend on using these possibly when I use the chili crab, but I just wanted to sort of go through. So all in all, and this is a very limited selection obviously, and they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They're good quality. They seem like very good quality boilies, and I believe they catch a lot of fish as well. So I wouldn't have any problems using them myself. You know, and this brings me to sort of back to what I was saying at the beginning about baits and about who makes the best baits and things like that. Well, the answer is there is a lot of very good bait manufacturers. NutriBaits is one of them. CR Baits is a smaller company, but the quality is very good. Your CC Moore makes some brilliant baits. Mainline, again, they make some brilliant baits. Sticky, I used Sticky all last year, and I was very happy with it, and I caught a lot of fish on that. Again, they make some very good baits. There's other bait companies like Northern Baits and Tor Baits and DNA Baits, and again, they all make very good baits. All the flavor profiles are different. So basically, it's a case of it's not a case of who makes the best bait. It's who makes the bait that smells nice to you, that you want to use. You know, so. And the other thing as well is, I mean, don't be afraid to carry more than one company. You don't have to stick to one company of baits. You know, I love the CR1 baits. They smell well, and they've done very well for me this season. But if I have these NutriBaits in my bag, and you know, my CR1s aren't working for some reason, they're not pulling the fish in, there's no reason why you can't change over to a, you know, unless you're a sponsored angler by a specific company and you're only allowed to use their bait. As a general angler, I would advise, you know, don't just stick to one company. Use you know, if you like one flavour from CC Moore, one flavour from CR Baits, and one flavour from NutriBaits, carry all three of them. There's no reason why you shouldn't. You know, and that's me. That's my opinions on baits. Basically, there's a lot of very good ones. Don't be afraid to try them. This NutriBaits actually do these handy little 400 gram packets, which is a good idea, because you can just buy a small little trial pack. You don't have to spend out, you know, 11-12 quid on a kilo or whatever. Yeah, give them a go. Give them all a go. You'll find out what works at your local and what doesn't, and you'll find out what you like and what you don't. And there's no reason not to. So yeah, a little bit of a sort of ranty style video, but that's my opinions on baits. The other thing as well is there are some bad quality baits out on the market. You know, I would be very skeptical if you're buying baits, you know, at full price and they're only sort of £5 or £6 a kilo. I'd be a bit skeptical about what ingredients go into those. I'm not going to say they won't catch you fish, because they may well do, but the whole point and the reason why these bigger companies, the reason why their baits are more expensive, is because the ingredients that go in are better quality. They're better for the fish. These guys have scientists that mix these mixes together, and they don't just do it for flavor profile and color and stuff like that. They actually make them balanced for the fish, and these sort of better quality boilies are much better for the fish that are in your lake. That being said, if you can only afford the cheaper quality baits, then, you know, you can still use them. My advice would be maybe try not to use too many of them. And the other thing you can do as well is, rather than putting out whole boilies, if the quality is a little bit lower, then chop the boilies, because it gives the water and the smaller fish the ability to sort of attack the softer part of the boilie, and it means the boilies aren't going to be left on the lake bed if no carp eats them. So yeah, that's my opinion on baits. I hope you found something useful in this video. If you are a NICAS member, like myself, these NutriBaits are available from, I think, all of the lakes now, and yeah, the profits do go back into the society, and they do go for putting new fish in the things. So even though I sell CR baits, and you're more than welcome to come and buy some of them off me, you know, always, you know, keep in mind that the club sell the NutriBaits as well, and there's no reason why you, as I say, you can't have more than one bait in your bag. Thank you very much, and tight lines.